Alright, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another Satisfactory video. Yesterday, we got this little teaser showing us the new trucks, and I thought today that we will quickly break this down. There's not much to go on, but there's some information that we could potentially get from this into what else is going to be coming, and some things that we've been wanting for a while, potentially, and it's not just involving what we see here, which is the truck. So we're going to restart this video. I'm going to go over and just kind of spot out the obvious, talk about the obvious, and then see what you guys think as well could be potentially coming in 1.2. Okay, so first up, clearly we have an oil extractor, right? So I am going to point out the obvious. Clearly oil extractor with a Mark II pipe, right? Oil in the pipe, goes without saying. Power pole, and then I've had some people ask, Bitz, what is this building right here? That is just another Mark II, an oil extractor. I had a good look at these just to make sure there's nothing different in case we was getting a Mark II variant, but we was not. A lot of people was confused in regards to this building here, because it was like, what is that? And because it was like, is that something new? The arms are going up and down on it. Well, the arms go up and down on this, and then that right there is clearly a power pole, top of a power pole. Right, so there's nothing in this scene that we can kind of take from this. The first thing I instantly tried to notice was, again, is this a Mark II variant of an oil extractor? So we don't have to overclock them to, you know, get full pipes. Maybe in the future, who knows? And then next up, we come to the water extractor, if I'm not mistaken. We do. But I'm going to just quickly let it play a tiny bit. It's all about here. Maybe just a bit more. Okay, so about here. And then we can see, let me just grab my little tool again. Just a Mark I pipe with water, Mark I pipe with water. Junction right here, nothing different about a junction. We have a Mark II pipe back there. Some people have already said that looks like a Mark III variant. That is just probably just a rendered, it's just a render distance on that is messing up with that, because with this new spline system, which Mikhail did talk about, which is wondering why these lines are super duper thick here. And then again, another junction here with two pipelines coming in, which I'm kind of confused about, because I'm wondering why they're using Mark II pipes here if it's coming from one drill. Maybe they just use Mark IIs on both lines to merge it into a Mark II. But yeah, then obviously a water extractor right here. It's clearly not overclocked, so it is sending out 120 water per minute, which is probably merging with another one here, which we can clearly see. But now we've also got water buffers. Well, fluid storage, as to say. There's one here, and there's one just behind this little tippity top of the thing. We can kind of see there, and there, with what is normally on top of a storage. I've been trying to have a look to see if there's anything else in regards to fluid changes. Obviously, we have the curve belts, which is what they've been building with here. But other than that, nothing on this screen. Again, like I said, it's going to be very bare bones. Maybe you notice this, but this is where we get into the juicy stuff. This clearly, right here, is the new vehicle depot, which is for fluids. And we take a look at this. We have input, output. So it is 4 items going in. Well, sorry, 2 items going in, 2 items coming out. We already know this blue pipe was oil. This top pipe was water, which is now indicating that this has 2 input storages. Because clearly these items don't combine in the game, and as we know, fuel for the vehicle is needed. So what this is telling me now is we have a 2 storage system here, which I would suggest the UI is very similar to fluid buffers. Right, so I've just gone into game. As you can see, we have the industrial fluid buffer right here. And this is what the current UI is. Obviously, this is spinning only because there's no item going into it. It currently holds 2,400. It tells you the fill rate, drain rate, net, and all this kind of stuff. It would not surprise me one single bit that this is going to be the UI for the vehicle depot, which is going to be, you know, for the storages, for the liquid. And it's going to look similar to this. It will have the A side, and it will also have the B side. It would not surprise me also if they leave the flush in, and it has a new system here that will say, okay, what items do you want in here? Because in the video, we can clearly see that there is no indication of which is A and which is B, unless it's on this side, which I doubt it because there's a ladder in there. So we don't know which port this is and which side this is, unless it's something you've just got to science. So put the pipe in, see which side fills up. It wouldn't surprise me going from top to bottom. So top is left, bottom is right. And then this will be something like the UI, right? So what I'm curious about though is if a truck comes in, will that said truck pick up both items, which I think it's definitely going to do? Or are they going to allow the truck to decide which one it wants to pick up potentially, and then only pick up one and then go to factory location B? The smartest way would be allow us to choose what item we want from either side to go into the truck and then it to go. But then my problem is how is the truck going to decide on which side to dump it when it goes to, you know, unload at the opposite end? Is it going to go, okay, I picked this up from A from this station, I'm going to drop it back off on the A side in this station? Or have they got it within the UI where there is a new box that says, you know, a little here, and it'll say drop down arrow, water, all that kind of stuff, and it'll have all the liquids in there. So this is where I want water to go, this is where I want, you know, a gas to go. Because we've got to remember, even though they're saying fluids, it will also be able to transport gases. So this is potentially what I feel like the UI is going to look like. It'll probably still keep the flush in there in case you want to flush it, because you can, most people don't know this, you can actually go up to these in some locations and hold control and drag it into your actually trash can. It does empty. So now if we go back into the video and we go to this next scene, we get our first glance at the actual, this side of the building, but then also the truck itself. So I'm going to quickly pause here, because here's what now catches me off guard is if we just quickly grab my little tool, and we can see we have one hose pipe which is going to fill the truck. And the way I'm seeing this truck right now is we have obviously we'll call it the cockpit, the driver's seat right here, right? And we have the big canister here. It would not surprise me if there is another canister which you can kind of see behind this. So the way it'll look from a top-down perspective would be, here's the driver's seat, here's a long canister, here's a middle section to the actual vehicle, and then here's another canister like that, and then here's the wheels, right? This is probably from a top-down perspective what the vehicle is going to look like with the railings, right? That's how I'm feeling it's going to look like. And if that's the case, there's going to be a vent here where this hose pipe comes down and goes in. Now the question is it going to dump both fluids? So is it going to do the water first and then move on to the oil? So it'll do left side first and then right side? Or is it just going to fill it at the same time? Because with this only having one hose pipe, it's suggesting that we only have one item being stored in the actual machine. Or there is two, it's just that the machine has a pretend valve that opens when a certain truck sends a signal to the station in regards to what item it wants to pick up. Very similar to what I mentioned here in regards to, I want this side to be water, I want this side to be oil. Which sides do you want it to pick up? I want to pick up oil, I want to go to factory B. So it wouldn't surprise me if they have got a new UI system in here, which is very similar to this. And if we kind of come out here, we can kind of see, here's that middle parting I was talking about. So here's that middle parting right here. And I feel like there's another canister there and another canister here, like that, right? That's what it was going to remind me of. And then just quickly skimming back over this from the video that Coffee Stain released, I'm not seeing any other items in here that could potentially be like, I've been checking the splitters in case, you know, splitters have changed, the junctions have changed or whatever, and so on and so forth. Yeah, I guess the only thing I could really mention here, and it's really a no-brainer, but people might question it, is why is there no pumps on any of these? It goes without saying, the machines give off head lift anyway, as a default. Same with buffers and whatnot. So, like, no pumps are really needed in this location, because it's probably going straight from here, straight into the machine, and which we already know is on ground level, because we can see it right here, so literally no head lift is needed. I guess it does have me wondering now, though, is drones going to be able to deliver liquids? Are they going to make a drone variant? Which could be kind of useful. And that's basically my little breakdown of what I think is being shown here. There's obviously going to be more stuff, so let me know what you think. If they are working on this, there is something I'm majorly wanting, and I'm praying that it gets added to this. And if you know or have followed my content in the past, you will understand what I mean. And that is train waypoint signals. I want to be able to go train. I want you to go from station station A to go to waypoint A, which then forces the train to go to waypoint A, and then I want it to go to waypoint B, C, and then to station B. This allows you to control the trains where what tracks they manually go on. And the only way you can do that right now is creating a dead train station on that line. But then that takes up quite a bit of space, as you know. But hopefully, fingers crossed, that is something that gets added with this update.
The perfect solution.
So let me know what you guys think, and I appreciate you all for watching, and hopefully you all having a fantastic weekend, because this will be dropping on Saturday. Obviously I dropped the video yesterday, so I'll get a chance to read all your comments. And just remember, keep smiling as always, and I'll see you in another video.
I've been drinking Kool-Aid cameras like I did when I was 9, cause I like to pretend that I haven't lost the time. In the nostalgia, though it tastes fine, I can only drink a couple cause it feels like a lie. We'd play Halo and we'd lay low in our basement until the sun began to rise.